What is up, hotties? Welcome back to another episode of Stay Hot. I'm Blaiden Kirk, joined as always by my two favorite co-hosts of all time, Matthew Sponhour and Theo Ash. And of course, it's brought to you by our good friends over at FanDuel. If you're doing any sort of DFS or sports betting this season, make sure that is where you're getting your action. Today, we're talking about buyers and sellers at the trade deadline, teams that should be buying and who they should be going after, teams that should be selling and who they should be moving off of. And our good friend Shefty recently reported that it could be one of the greatest trade deadlines of all time. And we've already seen it start to heat up a little bit with Joe Flacco becoming a Cincinnati Bengal.
He said that he expects each Monday and Tuesday until the trade deadline, we are likely to see deals adding up to around 10 to 12 before the November 4th deadline. So a few deals every week for a month. That's pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
What kind of deals? That's what we're talking about today. Is who might move to where, or who should move where?
Should move.
Where. It's hard to get these things exactly right, but
we're going to, because we're just that good.
That's right. But how you doing, Blaiden? You sound a little sick.
I'm not sick per se, but my allergies have been getting the better of me, and I've been a bit congested the past couple of days. So if you see me occasionally mute my mic, go off to the side, and blow into a tissue, you know why. But it's okay.
They're playing carnival music outside of my apartment for some festival. So if you hear carnival music in the background, you're going to have to mentally overpower that and block it out and not allow it to distract you or bother you, but I'll try to stay muted as much as possible.
The Italian Fest is this weekend. I'm kind of excited for that.
What do they have at the Italian Fest?
I don't know. I didn't go last year. I wanted to, but...
Probably pasta, cheese, maybe some... I don't know. I'm not Italian at all.
Neither am I.
So I guess I don't know what the traditions in the culture is. So I'm going to stop myself after pasta and cheese, actually.
Cheese. That's all they have in Italy, man.
Probably some lighthearted game, perhaps.
Yeah. Oh, I see them setting up. I drive past it on my way home from work, and it's
wine, maybe, perhaps some wine.
My girlfriend was saying cool. They'll probably have like wine slushies.
Okay. Is she Italian?
No. But she's just every time she goes to festivals with her mom, they have wine slushies. So.
And why would this one be any different?
Exactly.
A wine slushy, huh?
She was really excited, so we have to go.
Then I'll hold my tongue.
You will. How are you guys doing?
I'm perfectly fine outside of the carnival music.
Are you not a carnival music enjoyer, Matt?
Not while I'm trying to record the podcast, not particularly. And I've been hearing it in the background all day, and I haven't gotten annoyed of it yet. It's honestly not that. It's pretty faint. I don't know if you guys can actually hear it at all.
Hear it at all.
But it's more of a distracting thing.
What does carnival music sound
like? I don't know. I don't know what the instrument. I don't want to say it's like an organ. That's not what it is. But you'd know it if you heard it. It sounds like it's kind of like whistles, maybe. And maybe it's like big whistles or something. But imagine a merry-go-round. That's what it is, I think.
Merry-go-round.
It's like that type of music that you would hear at a carnival.
Yeah, it's like some bells. Probably like a little digital synthesizer.
If I find on YouTube like a song that matches what I'm hearing right now, do you think we could play 2.9 seconds of it to avoid a copyright on the podcast?
2.9.
I think 3 seconds is where they get you.
Is that actually the threshold?
I have no idea. I'm just entirely making it up, probably.
Manny, find us some royalty-free carnival.
Well, I got to find it to match what I'm hearing, but maybe I will, or maybe we won't have that in the podcast at all.
Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll replace the intro music with carnival music. Who knows?
Okay.
But Theo, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing okay. I'm going to the University of Puget Sound on Friday because it's my sister's family weekend.
Okay.
So I'm going to be up in Washington. I'm going to be up in Seattle. I'm going to say hi to Sam Darnold. And I'm going to say hi to Mike McDonald. And I'm going to say hi to Leonard Williams and JSN.
Ask Mike McDonald how he thought of such clever sim pressures.
How did you think of it? How did you teach Ernest Jones to fit the run so well, sir? I'm going to meet Ernest Jones and say, tell me about your hit stick on Rashad White on the goal line.
Please tell me.
I'm going to meet Geno Smith when he gets traded back to Seattle.
Back to Seattle. Yes, this is the way.
To be
Grab
Sam
by the
Darnold's
shoulders and
backup.
shake him and say, "What are you doing?"
What is he doing, man? I've been watching film from him. I've been obsessing over film from him the last few days because I'm trying to make some adjustments to some of my TikTok strategy. I'm trying not to point my phone at the screen so much and try to screen record some things. So I was trying to get that figured out over the last 2 days and how to best approach that. And my subject was Geno Smith. So I just went over the Geno clips over and over again, trying to obviously figure out what happened, but also figure out how do I want to approach the video. And I just went down a rabbit hole. I watched his warm-ups from Las Vegas and compared them to his warm-ups in Seattle. I was way too deep into it. I was like, you know what? This is not really giving me any good information. He's just not seeing the field well, and that's okay. So that's what there's nothing to it. There's nothing to the footwork. There's nothing to the his footwork is sloppy. He's more on his toes, I think. But I don't know. I was just way too deep into the Geno rabbit hole, but he's really playing like shit.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah. I feel like he's just gotten less confident, over the last few weeks. He started off just uber aggressive, and then he's like, this shit ain't working anymore. And
it all started on the first throw of week 2.
Passing up the seam. And I was like, no.
It all started on that first throw of week 2 when he did throw up the seam. He just led the guy right into the cover 3 safety. And it's bro, we all knew that was cover 3. That safety didn't go anywhere.
You can throw that pass. You just have to put it on the other shoulder.
And he's been messing that up all year. He threw another pick to Derwin. That was Tampa 2, which is kind of like cover 3. And he should have thrown it to the back shoulder, and he didn't. Derwin tipped it, pick. He had a seam route versus Washington that was there if he threw it to the back shoulder, and he didn't. He hasn't finessed anything to the back shoulder all year. He threw multiple picks versus the Bears, right into a Tampa 2 safety. It's bruh, you got to throw these away from those guys. And he either forgot that Tampa 2 exists and forgot that the middle of the field safety exists, or he has lost all control over the ball and just cannot put it within 5 yards of where he would like it to be anymore. I don't know what the answer is. He's either forgot safeties are real or can't throw the ball within 15 feet of where he wants. Yeah, those are the only 2 options I can think of.
Hard to say. So what makes predicting football hard? Guys can just do shit like this.
They can. And you know what? He's probably doing it on purpose just to piss off Theo.
Probably.
You got to figure.
You have to figure.
But you know what I'm trying to figure out is who teams should be trading away and who teams should be trading for.
But before we do that, before we speculate, how about we talk about some of the trades that really did happen? Because the trades have already started to pour in here a little bit. We've got Odafe Oweh to the Chargers for Oweh Gilman. Well, Odafe Oweh and a 7th, that is, for Oweh Gilman and a 5th.
Right.
And then Joe Flacco to the Bengals. Joe Flacco and a 6th for a 5th.
Yeah.
We'll start with Joe Flacco.
Start with Joe.
Yeah.
Look, we've seen the pass protection composite scores. The Browns and the Bengals are the 2 worst pass protecting teams in football. Is Joe Flacco going to be any happier with the Bengals than he was with the Browns? Probably not. But at least he has good receivers to throw to. That's the one upside. And so if he's willing to be aggressive, which didn't look like he was, but also hard to be aggressive throwing to Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman, and company. But if he's willing to be aggressive in Cincinnati, I think he can be more successful than he was in Cleveland. But I don't know about more successful than Browning, because I don't really think Flacco's particularly good anymore. I guess my question is, why would they do this instead of just, like, is this a better decision than like starting Brett Rippon or like picking up some like random off the street?
Maybe, I don't know. This kind of feels like a nothing move to me. I mean, we've seen the Flacco. I agree. Yeah. We've seen Flacco sort of have a magical run not that long ago with Cleveland, of course.
Sure.
So that comes to mind. Or, I don't know, maybe if you'd traded for Jameis, you kind of know there's maybe a little bit more of a ceiling on him than there is on like a literal, like just off of the street guy. And with the AFC picture being weird, maybe you feel like you give yourself a puncher's chance to stay afloat. I kind of think the Bengals are probably still going to play themselves out of serious playoff contention regardless, right? I mean, I don't know. We've seen backup quarterbacks come in and make a little magic happen for a couple of games all the time. Like dudes who I don't think are league level. I remember, no disrespect, but like Josh Dobbs had a couple of like amazing games. And it's like, dude, he was just like hardly
PJ
running
Walker
the
had that
offense
one
out there.
crazy
Yeah.
game. Yeah.
Yeah. So like it totally can happen. And I'm not going to write off the idea that like maybe like for a couple of games, the same thing does. And you do have great receivers or whatever, but do I think Flacco is like a meaningful upgrade over Browning?
Right.
Not really. I don't. And would I have given up a 50 spots, 40 spots, 30 spots of draft selection to go make this move? Probably not, if I'm being real with you.
Here's my question. Would you rather have Flacco or Russ?
That's where I'm at. Like, you can make a trade maybe for some sort of backup to save the season, but not Flacco. Like,
he's 40. He's going to get killed. I mean, I guess he's already going to get killed, but like, man.
He's like 3 months younger than Matt Ryan. If you called up Matt Ryan from the CBS studios and had him play for the Bengals, I think it would look like what Joe Flacco is about to look like, to be honest. Like, I would rather have Jameis. I would rather have Russ. If I was trying to save the season with a backup that's not Browning, like, fine, all right, I get it. You know, like, this is a year of Burrow's prime or whatever.
Right.
Like, if you can maybe try to keep yourself in contention, I can see it. Like, again, it's 50 spots in the draft. It's not that huge of a deal. But for Flacco, I mean, he just can't move around. If he's scared, he'll fall down. And if he's actually under pressure, he'll fumble because he's got to like stick his arms out to brace himself. The Packers.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'll be
He just knows how to beat Green Bay. So that's why they did this.
He only needs to score 10 points, apparently. Or what was it, 13? Was it 13-10 was the...
You shut your mouth.
Yeah. If it takes 13 points to do it, I could see him getting 13.
But I could see Browning getting 13 points.
Right. I get Browning has played bad and maybe played you out of some games. Like the Vikings game was just brutal. He wasn't ready for that. But like Flacco would have done no better. And I think really what bothers me about this move more than like, well, should they get Joe Flacco or Russell Wilson? Not a question a team that's going to be okay asks, obviously.
That's true.
The issue is that they view themselves after this move, you can tell, as like buyers and not as sellers, when they really should be saying, at the bare minimum, Trey Hendrickson, we should move you. It's not going to happen this year. We lost our quarterback. It can't happen. And we're already sitting on 3 losses, and you're going to be out until like mid-December. I mean, he's going to be out the entire season, essentially. So
100%. That's where my mind went was, well, why don't they just sell Hendrickson? Because they couldn't decide all summer on a contract. They end up resolving this stalemate with a 1-year deal, so the window isn't closed for one of Burrow's prime years. All of a sudden, Burrow's missing the entire season. What is keeping you two together, Hendrickson and the Bengals? You can still trade him. right? The situation hasn't really changed. You could have traded him then. You could trade him now. I feel like the Burrow injury, you should trade Hendrickson because you could probably get a second round pick for him. I mean, he has 22 pressures this year in 5 games.
He's great. He's a great pass rusher.
He basically won them the Jacksonville game because they couldn't handle him one-on-one. Trevor Lawrence for a red zone interception. That's really the only reason the Jags aren't 5-0 right now. He can help a San Francisco, right? If we're talking about trades that should be made, Trey Hendrickson to San Francisco, like that one is, I think we did this video early last offseason and I mentioned that. Like that is even more true now. But you can't really do it anymore because it's like, well, why would you give up picks for Flacco then? Like, why not punt on this year if it's looking over anyway? Go ahead.
You got time. You've got 4 more games before the deadline. We're a ways away from this thing. It's November 4th.
Yeah.
You go Packers, Steelers, Jets, Bears. You go 1-3 in those games or worse. There's no way that you can convince yourself you're going to stay alive. And then you could move Hendrickson and it would still be a good move in spite of giving up, a little bit of assets to go and trade for Flacco. You can kind of play both sides a little bit. It's possible, even though I don't think that's the right thing to do. If you go 2-2, maybe you view yourself, okay, we're 4-5. We can limp along and then hope Burrow comes back and we win 3 straight and, 9-8 does it in a bad division or 10-7 does it for a wild card or some shit like that. But like, I don't know, dude. I
guess that's true. If the Ravens were not 1-4, they might view this season a little bit differently. But also, I do think it's interesting. We know Cincinnati is historically very cheap and whatnot. I didn't realize they don't make trades in season basically ever. The last time they did was in 2020. They traded Carlos Dunlap to Seattle in exchange for a 7th round pick and BJ Finney. And BJ Finney appeared in 1 game that year. And the last time before that was 1972.
That's crazy.
So it is kind of a big deal that they made a trade for anyone at all.
And it probably doesn't speak probably doesn't say that a Trey Hendrickson trade is on the table midseason.
Probably doesn't.
But I just think that's silly. I think it's silly. I think if he's only here for 1 year and that year was so that Burrow isn't wasting a season with a horrible defense and now Burrow is gone for the most part, all right, trade him. San Francisco would love to have him. New England would love to have him, right? They're looking good. They look like they can maybe contend for the division, maybe contend for a wild card spot. That's more likely. Are you really going to go into it with K'Lavon Chasen as your number 1 pass rush win rate end? They're really good in the interior.
Could Washington think about it?
Washington.
I mean, there's a bunch of teams that could say we would be a significantly different team if we had a pass rusher like Trey Hendrickson, and we could be competitive right now. And it feels like it feels. The thing about Dallas is that it totally makes sense because Dak is playing out of his mind and the offense is awesome, right?
Yeah,
they're on a roll right now. But you just traded away Micah. So it's can you get behind logically then trading for a pass rusher? Look, it's Jerry Jones, so it doesn't have to be logical necessarily, but I'm reluctant to be that should happen just off the history of what's happened in the last month and a half or whatnot. But it's not a bad, you're not wrong. They're a competitive team that could really use a pass rusher.
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure.
There's a bunch of teams. I think there'd be at least a decent bidding war. I think you get a 2nd or a 3rd plus something else. And I would do that in a heartbeat over just, I don't know. How does the comp pick stuff work if they've just brought him back?
The max you can get is a 3rd round pick. So
yeah, and the thing is that at the minimum, at least you're not in a situation where then you can't sign any free agents. Although maybe that doesn't matter at all to the Cincinnati Bengals. And they're not going to go sign a massive free agent. But at the minimum, if you trade Hendrickson now, then you have more freedom in the offseason to go sign whoever and not worry that you're costing yourself draft capital.
True.
Yeah, I think it would be I think it would be a better decision to just keep Browning and trade Hendrickson. I mean, the problem with Browning is that he can't really move around at all. Like he's just one of the slower quarterbacks at navigating pressure, and it's just killing the Bengals behind an offensive line that's not only dead last in the composite pass block rankings, but also dead last in the composite run block rankings. Like this is just the worst offensive line in the league. It's worse than Cleveland's because at least Cleveland has like Batonio and Teller and guard center guard. They're not like as atrocious as the Bengals are. So it turns out their offensive line is even a little bit better. It's a little bit better.
Yeah, the Browns
Flacco's not going to survive.
And then they trade for a 40-year-old. It's just unbelievable, man.
Since leaving Baltimore, Flacco is 51 out of 56 qualified quarterbacks in EPA per play. So it's his record is like 10-22 as a starter. Like that 4-1 year with Cleveland carries a lot.
Yeah,
of
people
weight
forget that he played for like the Jets and the Colts and was really bad.
Yeah, he was supposed to stabilize it with Richardson when Richardson was benched. We see now that it would have been possible with even a Daniel Jones level player that someone who's not Richardson could have stabilized it. But with Joe Flacco, they didn't even score a touchdown. Like Richardson ended up coming back. Yeah, he's ahead of Kyle Allen. He's ahead of Davis Mills. He's ahead of Sam Howell. He's ahead of Zach Wilson. And unfortunately, Mac, he's ahead of Bryce Young. Those are the only 5 quarterbacks worse than him in EPA per play since 2019. So,
2 Panthers.
I watched Mad Max Fury Road recently again, and the quote comes to mind: "You're relying on the gratitude of a very bad man." And that's how I feel about Flacco.
Gratitude of
Yeah, so I don't love it.
No,
I think it's bad.
No, I think the Bengals are doing a whole lot of nothing when they should just be getting assets for.
This is the type of move where your first reaction is like, well, we're just swapping day 3 picks. We didn't give up that much. It's really like nothing at all if you think about it.
He'll be off
what even is the difference between a 5th and a 6th round?
Next year
and like there's some truth to that. Like, yeah, it's like dude, his contract is like literally only for the rest of the year. He's not even going to be on the team next season. How is this a bad trade?
Yeah, well, the coinciding roster move is they cut somebody who would have blocked a huge kick. He would have thrown a crazy block on special teams.
Yeah, I can't wait to see who this draft pick ends up being, and then we can go back and victory lap and be like,
and then we'll the 6th round pick ends up being a Hall of Famer, and they actually nailed it. But
exactly. Well, it's the Browns, so he probably won't be. But we can dream.
Yeah. Maybe they should do this and then trade Hendrickson at the same time. But yeah, no, that's not going to happen.
They should have traded for Shador. Screw it.
Trade for Shador.
He may have taken 10 sacks a game. Anyway.
The other trade is Oweh for Gilman.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of people say this is a lose-lose trade, and then also I've seen a lot of people say we need to be eyeballing the Harbaughs. Like, why are they having a trade with each other?
I struggle to understand this one from the Ravens' perspective. I don't mind it for the Chargers because, they need edge help. They've got Molden, they've got Tony Jefferson, they've got like RJ Mickens at safety. So it's like, parting with the safety for somebody who can kind of hold it down by the time Khalil Mack gets back, and then still factor into the rotation in a big way after that happens. Like, I think that they won this one pretty easily. I mean,
Oweh hasn't been like great.
He hasn't been great, but he had 10 sacks last year.
I guess that's true.
And
it's better than nothing.
Just watching the Ravens game against the Texans, like that's just as bad as defense gets. All right. If they're not coached well, they got just players you never heard of out there, right? Because of injuries. And if I was Gilman, I'd just be like, I'm a Band-Aid on a bullet wound right now. Like, I just don't understand how he's supposed to really help them, because as the year goes on, they're going to get Kyle Hamilton back. He's already practicing. I know that Humphrey's out for a few more weeks with the calf, but like hopefully eventually they have him back. And then it's like, well, where does Gilman fit in here? Like, edge is their biggest problem. They have the lowest sack rate in the league, and they just got rid of a guy with 10 sacks last year. Like, it just doesn't make a ton of sense to me why they would sacrifice like a decent edge for a decent safety. I don't really understand.
Well, Oweh has 1 year left on his deal, no?
Correct.
That's probably what they were thinking. So they're saying he's short term regardless, and we're not going to keep him around forever anyway. So does it help us more in the short term to keep him beyond when like the secondary gets healthy and comes back, or does it help us more to have a secondary player that maybe doesn't so much this season? That's got to be the logic behind it. And if so, I think that's fine. It's whatever. Neither of these deals are so big that I guess I have like incredibly strong feelings about it, or I'm like, this is a disaster or whatever. But like, yeah, you can see the vision on how you wouldn't love either of them for the team that's kind of making the desperation move a little bit.
You just can't have Ruben Lowry out there, man.
Yeah, I guess not. But like, why do you have to trade Oweh to replace him? Like,
He's
I
a
just
5'9" rookie safety. Like,
yeah, I mean, he doesn't know what he's doing out there. Like the entire secondary is a total disaster. But like again, Oweh had 10 sacks last season. I know that he doesn't have any this year, but who is going to get them on this team? I assume that there's going to be another move that gets made. He's got an 11.4% pressure rate last year Oweh, 10% this year. Like, he's not a total liability. I mean, he's better at getting pressure than Ojabo. He's better at getting pressure than Robinson. Like, I think he's better at getting pressure than at Urban. He's got some skills. Like, he's got some cross your face ability. He's got the cross chop. You know, he's not a great bender, but he's got enough speed to have some wins around the edge. Like, he beat Colton Miller last year for a sack with a cross chop and then bend. He had a nice win against the Buccaneers where he chased Baker down from behind. Like, some nice like power and then circle around against Broderick Jones in Pittsburgh. He beat Dan Moore in that Pittsburgh game as well. Like, there were some quality one-on-one wins on his tape last year. Is it all the time? No, but like, some guys can't do that at all. And I'm not sure if the Ravens of all teams have anybody behind them who can do that at all. So maybe they'll
hear me out. Cam Jordan.
That's my thing is like, this must be signaling another move for them at edge where maybe they can take that 5th round pick that they got in this deal as well, which is slightly important. All right. They got Gilman in a 5th for Oweh. So can they take that 5th and flip it for like a Jordan and Ebiketie maybe from the Falcons or something like that? And then say like, okay, we got Oweh's production is not impossible to replace. And we got Gilman now. Like, that must be what they're planning.
Maybe. I don't think Cam Jordan would be a needle mover in the pass rush at this point. Like
Bradley Chubb,
you could consider. Honestly, the Dolphins could maybe be the biggest sellers of almost anybody, right? I mean, there's a real chance that the coach isn't there, and if that's the case, who do you end up moving away potentially? Now, Tyreek Hill kind of would have been like, well, this is the guy to go move, right? And now that he's hurt, definitely not going to happen. But there's a couple of guys who could potentially be dealt. Bradley Chubb is one of them. And I think there's some teams that need running back out there that would call about Achane. But would you move him if you're the Dolphins?
Would you move Achane?
I don't think so. I think I would move. I don't know. I guess if the price was right, I would move anybody.
What's the right price?
For Achane, maybe I'd take no one's giving me a 1st, so maybe I would take a 2nd for him. I mean, maybe I'd just trade everybody for picks. Like, you might be better off if you had no Jordan Brooks, no Achane, no Minkah Fitzpatrick, like, no Waddle. Like, just completely go in on the rebuild. I mean, there's not a ton of teams doing that right now. So maybe be the team that goes for it.
I don't know. I mean, like, I don't like their roster construction at all. And then how many years does Tua have on his contract? Probably a pretty good amount right now. And you're kind of stuck to that or whatever. But I also think that's kind of a Madden move rather than something that teams
Trading
typically.
for Waddle.
No, not trading for Waddle. Moving all of your guys for picks and just like being we're going to tank. Trading
but
for Waddle.
I feel like the
reasonable.
Dolphins are a team where, I don't know, maybe they won't end up moving a lot of guys, but they're probably getting a lot of calls from teams like Tampa, Philly. Well, maybe not Philly, because Philly could use a second corner, and the last thing that the Dolphins have is corners. But like Kansas City would definitely call about Achane. I would.
Yeah. I guess my thing with Achane, and maybe why I wouldn't move him, is he's just a really good player on a rookie deal instead of like somebody on an extension. So it's like you're not really saving any. I guess you are, because you wouldn't have to pay him that extension. But like, why are you moving off young talent if you're the Dolphins? Like, wouldn't you want to move off old talent? Second contract talent. That probably makes a little bit more sense than trading guys who could help you for the next 5, 6, 7 years.
But I think he's so good. It would just be, you'd make yourself a tough sell for the next coach. Hey, we've got a bunch of extra, like, we got an extra second here and we've got an extra third there, and we are easily the least talented roster in the NFL. It's like, that would be my last choice for a job for sure. And we've got a quarterback who's paid huge money, who we can't get off of, who is incredibly limiting. Like,
they need to trade
as bad as the Saints job,
Trade Waller while his stock is high.
Yep. I don't know. There's a lot of things that could happen with Miami, but definitely Phillips and definitely Chubb seem like big time trade candidates, because they got Chop coming up the pipe. They got Kenneth Grant. They got players on the D line that can persevere if some of those guys are gone. And yeah, they are more injury risks, especially with Phillips. They are a little bit older. They're not going to be there if the next head coach maybe makes it to year 4 or 5, like Achane could be. So I definitely think that the Ravens should call about them. They've got to call about somebody, because
Jordan Brooks,
sure.
I mean, the Ravens don't need to call. The Ravens necessarily don't need to call about him. But I'm trying to think about who would benefit from a Jordan Brooks.
Who would benefit? I think, again, a team like the Patriots, I feel like could use a little bit more help behind the front four.
That would be.
I think that the Rams would love a Jordan Brooks, 100%.
Anything the Rams could get in their back 7, I would really, really be thinking about if I'm them, because they look like a great team and have played a couple of very close games and have lost because of that. And honestly, I just don't know how good you even need to get if you have a great pass rush. But it's kind of to the level, I don't know, like the Cowboys put together some great defenses that, albeit didn't hold up in the playoffs, but they put together some great defenses just based off the guys that they had. Maybe not dudes that were totally locked down, but dudes who could take advantage of rushed decisions and like errant throws and stuff like that. I'd love to see the Rams get some talent in the secondary. Part of the issue, though, when I look across the league about who could be sellers, are there any like cornerbacks on bad teams that really stand out to you as like, oh, they should definitely move this guy?
There's 2, and they're both in Cleveland.
Okay.
Emerson and Newsome.
We don't want them.
I mean, look, they're not great, but they're not like the worst corners in the league.
If the Rams got Emerson, they would go from no difference makers in the back 7 to no difference makers in the back 7. We want Ward, buddy.
If they didn't trade Garrett in the offseason, they're not trading Ward at the
This is the issue with Cleveland, is that because they kept Garrett and their defense is good, and we can have a conversation about their future, but because they didn't trade Garrett, you can't justify being sellers, I feel like. Unless their logic is simply Garrett, we think will be good for another 5 years, and we're viewing it as like our timeline is going to be still young and forward thinking, but we just think Garrett can survive it, which isn't impossible, but I feel it's more likely that they're trying to be good right now. They're not also, looking to sell Denzel Ward for a 3rd round pick or whatever.
I think you've got to treat
Emerson
Garrett like he's a
season,
star quarterback.
So yeah, you can have Emerson. He's out for the season.
Yeah. That'll do it then. Yeah. I think the Broncos, I mean, we're holding out hope with Dre Greenlaw, but they really need a linebacker. Maybe the Falcons. Maybe not.
What about the Jets?
The Colts.
The Jets are 0-4. Would they consider trading Sauce?
I don't think so, because he just signed an extension. I think I think they might consider trading Brees because he's a free agent after the year, and he's somebody who they probably don't have room for since they paid Wilson and they paid Sauce. So I could see a Brees trade to a team like the Chiefs, obviously.
Yeah, we've talked about Brees or Kamara as guys who could be leaving.
For
Kamara,
sure.
No.
Are you not buying into Kamara?
That wouldn't be the move that I would make if I was Kansas City. I mean, he's getting phased out, right? I mean, that's his issue because he's very old. I think Kamara is fine, but like, would that be a crazy big upgrade? I would take the younger Brees Hall easily.
Brees would intrigue me more for sure.
And if there was any chance I could get Achane, I'm doing it. I'm trading anything but a first for Achane. I mean, that would be a total game changer for him completely. It would give him the best weapons that they've had in a long time, at least since they traded Tyreek Hill.
The Chiefs and Andy Reid and Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith with Achane would be sweet.
I mean, Achane is so good. He's so unbelievable. Not only is just like a really talented runner, but I mean, you saw that catch that he had against the Panthers.
Yeah.
No, where he just went up. Having somebody like that, and a team or with a team that I think does a good job of extending plays and like dumping it off and always getting it away, like just give me that over, I mean, the worst running back room in the NFL, most likely. It would be such a difference maker. So I would love to see it. I would rather see that than him behind the Dolphins offensive line. That's for sure. It's a waste of a guy who's really good, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Alontae Taylor is a corner that could be moved as well from the Saints. Somebody like that.
Yeah, and I would call if I was.
He's somebody that creates a lot of havoc. PFF has him like with a 50, 49, 48 grade, something like that all the time. But he's always like leading corners and PBUs and tackles for loss and sacks and things like that. So he's a bit of a screaming demon coming downhill. He's somebody who can make some big plays, perhaps not consistent, but even someone like that would be an upgrade for the Rams. Like somebody who has some sort of calling card.
What about like Demario Davis, maybe? I mean, I don't know any of these guys' contract situations where, like, how the Saints have organized it. Can they even get off of these guys, or do they have to hold them forever and ever or whatnot? But Davis might be a guy that, a team that's really not competitive could think about moving.
He just seems like a Saints lifer at this point. Like, if the trade notification hit Alontae Taylor moved, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. Demario Davis, I'd be like, whoa.
Davis is an unrestricted free agent next year with 3 void years after it.
Yeah, that's funny. It's funny. All these guys with Saints contracts are like somehow tied with the team until they're 50. So like, maybe that's why you trade Taylor, because he doesn't have that moment yet where I'm seeing
him. 4 void years. I'm seeing that he's getting paid $7 million this year, and then he's not on the team next year getting paid $14 million.
Yeah. So it's 4 void years, including next year when he's an unrestricted free agent.
Gotcha.
Yeah. What about the 49ers? What should they be What should they be looking at? Because they're sitting here at 4-1. They should definitely be buyers right now.
I think that defensive end clearly is the thing they should be looking at. I think maybe like a Kayvon Thibodeau in New York has become a little bit redundant, even though he's playing probably the best football of his career right now. He's gotten more physical than he was as a rookie. He wouldn't be a bad get for a team like San Francisco, where it's just like all their edges are hurt, all their guys are kind of, there's Huff and then there's Williams and like number 91, there's him. They're all, Huff isn't a run stuffer. He's a good one-on-one pass rush winner, but I feel like there needs to be at least somebody who can bring some speed to power, win a two-way go. Like I feel like Kayvon has done well enough like that he might be somebody who's good for them.
There is not much that the 49ers could add on defense that I would not be like, yeah, they could use that, if I'm being real with you. I don't think they're so set at any position that I'm saying, yeah, that's not necessary. I mean, I don't know. I think if there's going to be a team that makes a move for a big guy that they decide, like, we're going to bring him in and this is going to be our thing, like, it'll be 49ers. They often do that. I really like Hendrickson for them. I think that's a great fit logically. I guess the question is then, it's like, how do you, if you go trade like for a major pass rusher, not like a rotational guy who frankly like probably won't make that big of a difference, but like a true difference maker to try to save a season where you're 4-1 and you feel like you can really make a run if you can get healthier outside of Bosa, who's obviously done. How does that fit in when you just spent a very high pick on Mykel Williams and you're going to get Bosa back? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, the 49ers, obviously, any given year, you want to be competitive and attacking, and the NFC seems not wide open, but winnable this season. But you've also been at the top a decent amount if you're San Francisco, and I wonder if you want to make a move that's a little bit short-sighted in a year where you're already kind of behind the eight ball. Like you could get Hendrickson. Okay, you trade a second for him or a third and a fifth or whatever. And maybe you don't value the high picks that much. So you're like, whatever. We already have 9 fifth-round draft picks, so we don't need our second.
Right.
But then, like, you get to the offseason. Okay, did you just throw away that second for half a year of Hendrickson, and do you let him walk, or do you give him that big deal and then have a log jam at edge? Or is edge such a good position that you're fine, like, rotating Mykel Williams in and you haven't seen enough? I mean, I'm just not 100% sure on if they're just willing to abandon a move like that and not or abandon the long-term outlook of a move like that to try to save the short term, when I still kind of feel like they're probably too banged up to really go and like win the Super Bowl. I think the odds of that are still really long.
Yeah, I feel the same way, especially at an edge. And is there a defensive tackle that they could go and get? I keep thinking about Christian Wilkins. Like, is there going to come a point where he becomes available? I don't know. We haven't heard anything from him.
I haven't heard anything about his situation, so
I can't exactly.
It's tough to say. If they could get a great pass rushing defensive tackle, yeah, I would do that all day. That you could fit in. And we know that they've also tried to go make the big move to do that before. They're willing to go make these splash moves. But I do think it has to make sense for more than just this season. I guess that's all I'll say. I wouldn't bank everything on just this 1 year when you're already without Nick Bosa, who's a tough guy to be without.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's just not a ton of like very clear pass rushing defensive linemen out there that you could go and get. I just am not seeing a great option at all. Like Sealer from Miami is somebody that I think about, but like he just signed an extension this offseason. Like, is that somebody that you could just turn around and go get immediately? Or are they going to try to wait out that contract? Are they going to say like, well, clearly he factors into their short-term plans because they signed him this offseason? Like, I don't know. But he's somebody that comes to mind. Maybe like someone similar is like Adam Butler, who just signed an extension in Las Vegas, but obviously that season is kind of turned upside down. I don't know.
If Colton Miller wasn't on IR, I would say they should probably shop him around a little bit at this rate, maybe.
Trading a big offensive lineman in the middle of the season seems hard to pull off. I can't really remember that ever happening.
You know who would need it, though? Baltimore.
Baltimore needs a lot, man. Like, Baltimore needs so much that every single player that is available, like, Baltimore could come and call about. Like, they...
Outside of quarterback and running back, they need pretty much everything.
They need pretty much everything. And, yeah, my level of concern with them is just... Obviously, it's getting higher and higher and higher. I mean, if the season ended now, they'd have the 3rd overall pick in the draft. And when you look,
we talked about a little while ago about like their playoff odds, and I think it's like not untrue that even if they're 1-5 after the Rams game, that their schedule is easy. But the issue is that like their defense is still banged up, and like you have no room for error. So like Lamar could come back and the offense could be awesome and okay, whatever. I know they'll look better, but I still wonder if they're going to be in a position where their defense costs them so much, just being so injured. That
I mean, they just got
still not enough
by
to come
Houston,
back.
Right? Who has not been good this year. So.
Who's been struggling horribly. I mean, they were a major get right way and the biggest, possible at the biggest possible level. It's insane. Yeah. So it's not good.
No, it's not good at all. I mean, they have the worst. No, they have the 30th ranked defense by EPA per play. They have the worst rush EPA per play allowed. They're ahead of the Jets, the Cowboys, and the Dolphins versus the pass. I mean, they have the worst defensive line in the league easily right now without Oweh. And even before Oweh was traded away, they had the worst. So, like, what is really the difference between them and, like, the Bengals last year when we think about the defense? Like, okay, they got 1 star. They got 2 stars, okay. I guess the secondary as a whole is better than the talent that the Bengals had together. But it's like, man, with that front 4, why can't they just miss the whole way through, I guess? So they need that. They need a wide receiver. They need a guard. They need a tackle. Like, all of these, I get Stanley and Rosengarten. They don't need a tackle, I suppose, but they need a guard. I don't know. There's a bunch of trades they need to make, and it starts to get to the point where it's like, okay, how many can we realistically do in one season for it to be worth it?
It stacks up. It stacks up fast. And Matt, you say it all the time. The more ifs you have, the harder it is to justify you being like a really deep playoff team. And the Ravens are starting to stack up a lot of, well, if they can fix this, it's going to be hard for them. What about Tampa? I feel like that's a team that's been like absolutely crushed with injuries as of late. Is there anything you feel like they should be going after?
Not really. I thought about them. They don't have too much that stands out to me as like a major need. I think the safeties, the corners, the defensive line, like obviously there's always things you can make, but there's nothing that really sticks out as like, holy cow, they absolutely need to address this. It's not like the edge room in Baltimore or anything like that, or in San Francisco or in New England, or, the wide receiver room in maybe, I don't know, also Baltimore or, or like, I don't know. I don't think that, is there someone you have in mind, Blaiden? Makes you say?
No, I was just kind of in the same camp as you were. I was trying to think about it, and I'm like, I feel like they're kind of just set, but they also keep playing these super close games, and so I'm like trying to figure out at what point, like if something is going to bite them, what is it going to be?
Probably a few things.
Are you going to say Baker?
I can think of
they
something.
They should trade for a quarterback.
Yep. No, I mean they're looking good. I think if an opportunity comes, they should make a move. But the Hassan Reddick signing has gone well for them.
Yeah.
They've drafted really well recently. Like they have depth. I think they have what they need to be a dark horse.
Them hitting on Igbuka is so
Yeah. They'll get Evans back. That'll kind of be like a trade midway through the season. So I'm liking where they're at. They began the season injured, but now Wirfs is back. Like, hopefully their offensive line can get a little bit healthier as the season goes on. Like, could probably use some interior guys, but again, like starting offensive linemen don't seem to be traded as much as like edges and wide receivers do.
I guess that's fair.
One guy that I think will definitely be traded in the next month, DJ Moore.
Really?
I don't see why he'd stay. I mean, he's at 1.4 yards per route run this year, a 16.9% target rate. Last year, he was at a 22.9% target rate, 1.6 yards per route run. The year before that, 2.5, 25.2% target rate. So he is phased out as far as I'm concerned. He's phased out with the moves that they've made. He's been phased out on film. He's been phased out in the numbers. Like, this guy is just not making an impact for the Bears. They don't need him. They got their 2 tight end sets they like to use. They got Luther Burden. They got Roma Dunze, who showed out in a big way. Like, what do you need DJ Moore for?
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. And I think there'd be a lot of teams that would call for a guy like that, right? The Patriots come to mind as a team that could make another move for a wide receiver. I know they already went and gave up big money for Diggs, and Diggs has been good. He's working his way back. I think he's had a couple of solid games now after maybe a little bit of a slower start, but this is one of those positions where you can use a lot of guys. I also think another receiver, when I start to think about, okay, what teams need a wideout and who could it be? Jacoby Myers, obviously, requested a trade, didn't get it. Now you're sitting here at 1-4. It's like, dude, if you're the Raiders, I guess my general thought is like with first year head coaches in new spots saying we're sellers 5 games into the season is probably like not good and a little taboo maybe in the front office itself, but it certainly makes a lot of sense to deal Myers if you're them. New England definitely comes to mind for me. I mean, I would take DJ Moore back in Carolina in a heartbeat for the record.
Yeah.
San Francisco could think about a receiver if they don't like their health options, but I think if they can get 100%.
Jacoby Myers in San Francisco would be so electric.
Yeah, I think one team that comes to mind for me with DJ Moore is the Falcons. I feel like he's somebody that you can they need somebody where you can really just press the easy button and have them get yards, because I don't think of Drake London as necessarily a speed at the snap type of guy, like a end around threat, a screen threat. Like, that's kind of Ray McCloud's job in Atlanta. And you can do a whole lot better than Ray McCloud and probably add a little bit more of a downfield threat as well there too. Michael Penix has been up and down. I mean, scoring 0 points versus the Panthers. I probably wrote him off a little bit too quickly after that happened, because he played well versus Washington, and his connection with Drake London looked great for the first time this season. So hopefully they can build on that. But you need more serious weapons around him at some point in the receiver room. And I think DJ Moore, especially like if you can get some eyes on him for some of the yak stuff and the motion stuff, like they don't really run anything else but like zone. And I think having that type of guy in their scheme would do a lot for Bijan. But at the same time, it's like, are the Falcons really that good right now? Like, can you hold out till the draft, till the offseason to make a move like that and not get DJ Moore on a big contract? I think maybe a little bit of patience besides could work out well for them instead of being buyers at this deadline. Another team that I think makes a lot of sense for DJ Moore is Seattle.
Yeah, I could see it. I kind of like their weapons as a whole right now, though. I mean, it's always good to add another wideout, but you felt good about Horton, and JSN's obviously been cooking, and Barner's there. And if they really like, working in Elijah Arara more as like kind of a big slot guy or just somebody to like get the ball in the hands of, I could see him getting time. So I don't know. I kind of think that maybe they're all right at receiver. The thing is that because Moore is just like such a physical type of weapon, I think there's a lot of teams, and just in general, because you play a lot of receivers, there's a lot of teams that could say, well, we want to add a DJ Moore because we feel like we're pretty good.
Right.
And you could totally understand it. But
yeah,
I don't know if they're a team where I'm like, they're desperate for another weapon.
Yeah. Yeah, with Seattle, I just think they're another team like the Falcons that could use a little bit more speed at the snap. Like outside of JSN, I don't think there's a whole lot of that there. And I think like they're really reliant on JSN in like their screen game and with some of the end around motion stuff again. And it's like, I feel like not only is DJ Moore a great traditional route runner and somebody who got that done in a big way back in 2023, but like he's also just a bit more of a physical kind of Debo-esque type of guy that draws eyes in the run game and, really generates easy yardage. Like they've got JSN just doing everything right now. And I feel like he's more of a downfield route runner than he is like a catch and run explosive type guy. So I think they're still looking for that on their team, and DJ Moore would fit the bill, but their offense is cooking to such a level right now, and they're playing with 12 personnel and they just brought in Cooper Kupp. It's like, do they really need DJ Moore right now? Like, who really needs him? I guess I don't know. I like the New England shout.
Who needs him, man?
Who needs him?
Who needs him?
Maybe the Giants could trade for DJ Moore.
I was thinking that as well. I could see it like we want to give a little bit more help to Dart, and things are a little bit on the rocks right now. Let's get another weapon in here. And then you could see in the next year if like Neighbors comes back, it's not like Moore all of a sudden is redundant or anything. I don't hate that.
I hate it for a team that's clearly going to be bad to like give up any picks for Moore, because like you could just be patient again and like Dart's going to be the starter for a while, and then you could get more in free agency or someone more.
Sure, but that's fair from like a zoomed out, I'm a fan of the Giants and I'm not going anywhere perspective. But from a Brian Daboll perspective, actually, you might not be able to use those picks later. It's very
right, exactly, and that's why I wouldn't like it. Is like if you're not in the playoffs, you shouldn't be buyers at the deadline. Like that's just a pretty good rule of thumb. As much as it would help you. And like, would it really help you evaluate Jackson Dart? Like his numbers would certainly be better if he's throwing to a good receiver. But like, if he's got stuff like when he misses a throw to Slate, or when he hits a throw to Slayton and Slayton drops it, you can still evaluate Dart in those moments and say like, okay, that was good. We just need a better wide receiver. Whether or not Slayton actually catches those balls, like, I don't know. I don't think it's as important as like having there's just no hope that the offensive line protects, and like we don't even see him 2 seconds into the play, right? Like whether or not the receivers catch it, like maybe you can get away with like some evaluation without him, but I don't know. Maybe the Cardinals too could use a guy like Moore.
You know what I need is this offer that FanDuel's got for us, because you're not going to want to miss it this NFL season. New customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet $5, and if it wins, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use all across the app. You can build parlays, bet player props, ride the live lines, whatever your style, FanDuel has you covered. The NFL season is here. We're entering week 6. The only question is, are you ready to play? Visit FanDuel.com/podcast to download the FanDuel app today and get started. Disclaimer, must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable. Bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelpline.ma.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.
But yeah, that's about all I gotta say. So we can get into the locks here.
All right. Well, a recap of last week's Stay Hot locks. Theo, you locked Buffalo and Indianapolis.
During that game, I was like, man, I'd hate to be the guy who locked Buffalo.
You'd hate to be that guy, and you were that guy. Matt.
And then I remembered.
Matt, you were entering this week in the lead. You took the Rams and the Cardinals.
Ooh, that's a brutal one.
That's a brutal one for you. So both of you guys came away with no points this week. I, the wise one of the trio, picked just the Detroit Lions, and they won. So Matt and I are tied at 6 points. Theo, you have 5 points. I'm going to go ahead and give myself the first pick here, and I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers over the Cincinnati Bengals. Keep my strategy the same. Just take the clearest, most obvious lock on the board.
I guess I'll go next. This is a terrible year for locks. The difference between the top and the bottom is very, very muddy. Like, I feel like we're in the middle of such a power vacuum in the league where, like, the top teams, the Ravens, the Bills, the Eagles, the Chiefs, they're clearly just not the best versions of themselves. And at the same time, none of the other teams have reached out and tried to take it or been able to take it. So it's like, man, I'm looking at the board and I'm just seeing a ton of mid. And I can't even lock against the Titans anymore because they won last week and the Raiders are terrible. So
yeah,
I'll go with the Bills, I guess, again over the Falcons. I don't know if Lightning will strike twice with a primetime upset with a second-year quarterback, but I guess I don't know at this point. But we'll see if the Bills can redeem themselves for me.
Maybe they will.
Totally fair. I'm going to go. I've got back-to-back picks here.
You do?
I'm going to go with LA over Baltimore. Baltimore is without Lamar Jackson, no?
Yeah. I believe
he's missed practice, so.
All right, I'll go LA over Baltimore. If Lamar's missing practice on a Wednesday and it's a hamstring issue, guys, let's rush Lamar back from the hamstring issue. I'm going to guess not for a game that your defense might blow regardless because it's against Stafford. And then, I don't know. I think I'll go Denver over the Jets. I mean, the Jets are 0-5 right now, and Denver's defense is fantastic. I think the Jets are just super one-dimensional. And while, you know, Denver's had their offensive struggles, the other team is 0-5. So I'll go with Denver and LA.
All right.
That brings it back to me. I guess I'll go with the Eagles over the Giants. The Eagles are in such disarray that I'm not feeling too great, but I don't have a lot of...
It's a fair pick.
I said it last week. I think the Giants are going to have the worst offense in the league the rest of the way. And that was looking... It didn't burn me last week as they lost to the winless Saints. By double digits, I believe.
By double digits. Yeah, that would have been my pick here. And so now I'm left with a pretty gruesome selection. I'm eyeballing this Colts-Cardinals game just because Kyler Murray might be out, and it looks like he did not practice today either.
Well, that'd be a good pick then.
Yeah. So
Cardinals aren't going to beat the Colts with no Kyler Murray.
That's what I'm saying, but I'm trying to decide if he's going to play. Probably not. So I'll trust that, and I'll take the Colts.
Even if he does, I mean, the Colts are on a tear, and the Cardinals have lost like 3 straight stupid one-score games.
Yeah. If there's any team that is taking advantage of the top teams not being as good as we expected, it is the Colts.
It might be Indianapolis. And then 2 others that I'm eyeballing, I've got one other pick here, is the Patriots over the Saints, just because Drake May looked absolutely ridiculous, and The Saints are 1-4. And then the Cowboys, just because their offense just looks ridiculous. I do think there's a world where even if Bryce Young has a pretty good game against a bad Cowboys defense, it's not I don't know if he's going throw for throw with Dak Prescott.
Coker's back. Who knows? Maybe he goes crazy. I think the Panthers, I don't know. I think they're kind of a fraudulent 2-3, if I'm being honest.
I think I agree with you, and I'm looking at this from the perspective of if the Cowboys went into this, or let's say it's like a close game in the fourth quarter. Each team gets one final drive. Who are you trusting to pull it off? Probably the Cowboys and Dak Prescott, even if it's a true shootout. So, yeah, I will go Colts and Cowboys.
I'll take Pittsburgh over the Browns.
Should I challenge him on that, Matt?
You can.
It's not what I asked.
Yes, you should.
We haven't had a challenge yet.
We haven't.
They're pretty rare. It's not just that it might be, statistically in your favor. It's that he's disrespecting your franchise, your city, and you.
He is.
He just called you stupid.
Blaiden is stupid.
He did it again.
Blaiden is stupid.
I'm not doing it.
You might be smart, actually. Matt, are you taking anything else?
Nah, I think I'm out.
I'll take the Chargers over the Dolphins as well. The old Herbert Tua agenda bowl. It feels like 2022 all over again. We'll ride with the Chargers as we always do. In these games.
I'm interested to see because the Panthers have a super banged up offensive line, right?
Yeah.
And the run defense really hadn't been that great all year. And it's like, they went up against the Dolphins, 1.6 yards a carry for Achan, and they ran for 200 yards on those dudes. Like, that's where the Dolphins are at right now. So you get another test of that where the Chargers offensive line horribly mangled. All of their running backs are on IR right now.
Yeah.
Hassan Haskins.
Is this the game where, is Hassan Haskins going for 900 yards? We'll see.
I don't know if he's going. I don't know if anybody's breaking off 200 yards, but can I see like a 57% rushing success rate for Vidal? Like, sure, even though they're absolutely atrocious up front. If you can't really take advantage of that, and the Dolphins can't, I find it hard to believe they're gonna beat Herbert. But I guess we'll see. We'll see Oweh. We'll see if he can make any kind of difference. But they're horribly banged up. I think the Chargers are in serious trouble. Like, I don't think they're a good team right now, but I think they can still beat
them anyway.
I still think they can beat Miami.
Okay. I think I'm going to be out. I'm still very much eyeballing Patriots and Browns to challenge the.
You mean? Oh.
But I think I'm going to play it smart and stick to the three that I have here. Taking any more than that just makes it mathematically a lot. So.
Yeah.
Even though I think that Steelers lock is a bit risque on your part, Theo.
I don't know. The Browns aren't very good.
Are the Steelers that good? Like, I think they're a pretty fraudulent 3-1 right now. So
is every team. That's what I mean. Like, every team is a fraudulent 3-1.
I guess.
Like, there is such a huge on like the team tiers chart. Like, there's the Colts who are elite, the Lions, the Packers, and the Bills. And then there's this whole pack of teams in the middle, like ranging from the Saints are in that pack, the Panthers are in that pack, and so are like the Chiefs and the Rams and the Broncos. Like, I just feel like there's a whole just mid pile up. The Eagles are in that group. The Browns are not in that group. They're one of the teams that's for sure suck and are for sure not.
They do
mid.
for sure suck, but their defense can get them wins, and that's why I'm scared to lock them against teams that aren't just like absolutely good. So But Theo, who all did you lock? You got the Steelers, the Eagles, and the Chargers. Did you have another one?
Eagles, the Steelers, the Chargers, and the it was the Bills.
Did you take the Bills? Yeah.
Yeah.
Bills. They'll get you right this time, I'm sure of it. And then Matt, you've got your
Denver
jolly old Broncos
and the Rams.
The Rams. And then I'm locking the Cowboys, the Packers, and the Colts. So if you're writing the Stay Hot locks on FanDuel, that's what you'll play it on. So that'll do it for another episode of Stay Hot. As always, thank you all so much for tuning in. It's been an absolute blast. I'm gonna go take a steaming hot shower and try and drain the rest of this mucus out. And until next time, we will catch you on the flippity flop.